Today, we're heading to the most remote place on Earth. We're going to Antarctica to look for a world that, according to everything we think we know, shouldn't even be there. When you picture Antarctica, you probably see this, right? A white Mars, just a flat, dead, frozen wasteland. But what if I told you that's just the roof? Because on the right, well, that's the reality hidden underneath. Thanks to some absolutely mind-blowing technology, we're finally seeing a lost continent for the very first time. But to get to that hidden world, you've got to get through this. 27 million cubic kilometers of ice. I mean, that's a weight so staggering, it actually pushes down the Earth's crust. For all of human history, that colossal barrier has kept a ghost world completely locked away. And we're not talking about a few buried rocks here. No. What's preserved down there is an entire continent. We're talking about a landmass the size of the United States and Europe put together, flash frozen and hidden from time itself. You know, the science of even exploring this place has a cool new name, cryospheric archaeology. It's a brand new field that uses some seriously advanced tech to kind of peel back the ice and see what's really there. And let me tell you, what they're finding, it's starting to poke some serious holes in the official timeline of our history. So the big question is, how? How in the world are we seeing through miles of solid ice? Well, it all comes down to a complete revolution in technology. You have to understand, for the longest time, mapping what's under the ice was just a total fantasy. I mean, the ice sheet is almost 3 miles thick in some places. It's constantly grinding and moving, and the pressure is just, it's unimaginable. The first attempts at maps were basically just educated guesses. And then, everything changed. Just look at the insane leap in progress here. In 2001, BedMap 1 was basically a rough sketch. But jump to 2013 with BedMap 2, we went from a few random data points to over 25 million of them. It's all thanks to missions like NASA's Operation IceBridge. It's like we suddenly gave ourselves X-ray vision. So what did this new X-ray vision actually find? Oh, just things that have no business being there, like the Gamburtsev Mountains, a mountain range the size of the entire European Alps, completely buried in ice. Or the Bentley Subglacial Trench, a canyon literally deeper than the Grand Canyon. And maybe the biggest shock of all, liquid water. Yeah, liquid water. This one discovery just completely shattered the old idea of Antarctica. It's not some static frozen block. It's a dynamic plumbing system with over 230 lakes hidden deep beneath the ice. And this is so key. Where you have liquid water, protected from all that grinding ice, you have the potential for incredible preservation. Okay. So that's the hard science. But this is where the story gets really weird. This is where modern-day technology smacks right into a deep historical mystery. Ancient maps that seem to show this hidden world, centuries before we ever had the tech to see it for ourselves. So let's just lay out the paradox. On the one hand, we have the Piri Reis map, drawn way back in 1513. On the other hand, the history books are very clear. Antarctica wasn't officially discovered until 1820. So, what in the world is this map showing us nearly 300 years too early? What's really fascinating is that the admiral, Piri Reis, said himself that he didn't draw it from scratch. He said he compiled it from 20 different source maps and that some of those maps were ancient even in his time. It's like he found a piece of a lost library, a chain of knowledge that's been broken. Now hold on, because this is the bombshell. In 1960, the U.S. Air Force gave this map to a top-tier cartographer, Lieutenant Colonel Olheimer, and asked him to analyze it. His conclusion was absolutely stunning. He stated that the coastline on this old map matched the seismic data of the land under the ice with, and I quote, remarkable accuracy. His professional opinion, it had to have been mapped before the ice was there. And you might think, okay, maybe Piri Reis got lucky. But it's not a one-off. Check out the Boucher map from 1739. It clearly shows Antarctica as 2 separate islands. And guess what? Our most advanced data today confirms that if you melted all the ice, that Bentley Subglacial Trench we talked about would split the continent into 2, right where this map shows a sea channel. So we have these impossible maps. That's one thing. But what about actual, hard, physical evidence? For that, we have to look at this massive scar that satellites have detected, buried deep beneath the ice. To really get this, you just need to know one term, masscon. It's short for mass concentration.
Basically, we have satellites that can measure gravity, and they can feel when there's something huge and dense buried underground. And in a region called Wilkes Land, they found an absolute monster.
And to give you an idea of the scale we are talking about, on the left, that's the Chicxulub crater, the one from the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs. The anomaly they found under the Antarctic ice? Yeah, that's it on the right. If it's an impact crater, it is 3 times bigger. But here's the twist. It's not just a big hole. The gravity readings are really, really strange. There's what they call a mass deficit inside the crater ring, which could mean something is missing, or it's hollow, or just way less dense than the rock around it. And to make it even weirder, magnetic surveys are picking up a signature that suggests something metallic is buried right in the middle of it. So you start to add it all up. The hidden mountains, the impossible maps, this bizarre anomaly, and you are left with one massive, timeline-shattering problem. And here it is, the Great Divide. This is the chronological problem that makes all this so controversial. Geologists are pretty certain that Antarctica has been frozen solid for at least 15 million years. But modern humans, the kind of people who could do the advanced map-making we saw, we've only been around for about 300,000 years. The timelines, they just don't add up. It's impossible. So how do you even begin to bridge that gap? Well, some people have turned to a really radical and, let's be clear, very controversial theory called Earth Crustal Displacement. The basic idea is that the entire outer skin of the planet can shift all at once in some kind of catastrophe, moving a whole continent like Antarctica from a warm zone into a polar zone, basically flash freezing it and everything on it. Now, that theory is way out there for most scientists, I get it. But this next number makes the idea of an advanced ancient people maybe just a little less far-fetched, 45,000 years ago. And this isn't a theory, this is hard archaeology. We have found undeniable proof in Siberia that modern humans were living, and not just surviving, but thriving deep inside the Arctic Circle 45,000 years ago. They had advanced tools, they were hunting mammoths. It's just a powerful reminder that our ancestors were way more capable than we usually give them credit for. Which really just leaves us with the ultimate question. Are all these things, the buried mountains, the impossible maps, the strange gravity readings, are they just a series of really amazing geological coincidences? Or are we looking at the echoes of a lost chapter of our own story, perfectly preserved under miles of ice?